If you're looking for cheap, safe, and reliable MT, make sure you go check out my new sponsor, safembamt.com. Use code JC2K for 5% off and go build that God Squad you always wanted. Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over 10 things that I think 2K22 should add or change in their game that will allow for a better game overall. These are ideas that I came up with and really have gotten from some other people as well, but these are just 10 ideas that I think would really help improve the game, make it more enjoyable for everybody to play, and make the life of the game last longer. Because I think most people can agree that the game is pretty dead at this point in terms of YouTube views, in terms of even Twitch views and things like that. The only things that really get views are like tournaments on Twitch and things like that is the main thing that really gets views and gets people interested. And then on YouTube, most people just aren't that interested in 2K21 content anymore, which is okay, and I understand that because the game is coming to its end. But I think if 2K implemented more of these things into the game, they would really see more interest from outside consumers into coming in and playing the game, and it would bring more new customers in while also continuing to retain their old customers throughout the year and make those people basically, I would say, more interested in playing the game in total. These are just my ideas. If you have any other ideas, feel free to let me know about them down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your ideas. But also, before we hop into this video, if you haven't, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Help me push towards the 2,500 subscriber mark in the channel. A little bit over 400 subscribers away right now. Trying to hit that by the end of 2K21. That'd be really cool, and I really appreciate all the recent support. But yeah, without further ado, let's hop into it, and I'm gonna give y'all my 10 ideas. So at number 10, one of the first things that I think 2K should do is give out more locker codes next year. For example, in 2K20, we got a lot of creator locker codes. They would give creators locker codes that gave you an opportunity for a pack that came out that weekend, or tokens or things like that. Really, I think it was mostly packs, but give us more locker codes. And when I say more locker codes, I'm not asking 2K to just give away like the best cards in the game for free, but it's July, for example. I think that we should be getting codes for more codes for like Galaxy Opal cards, even Dark Matter cards at this point in the year. Give us cards that for nobody spent players that they can use whom they may not be able to use before. Give us more deluxe packs, codes for deluxe packs that'll give players the opportunity to pull some of the more expensive cards in the game. Just more locker codes each and every week and each and every weekend with new pack drops and things like that, I think would be a great thing for 2K to add, because it brings more interest into the game when people have more of an opportunity to get some of the cards that they may not otherwise be able to get if they're no money spent player. But I just think more locker codes, maybe returning to those creator locker codes and things like that, would be a great thing for 2K to add to 2K22. At number 9, another thing that I think would be a huge thing for 2K to add would be no more contracts. As y'all can see, I have a lot of contracts, and a lot of people do have a lot of contracts. If they have a lot of MT and have spent some money on the game and all that stuff, they will have a lot of contracts. But for no money spent players, contracts are a huge issue at times, because those no money spent players don't really have the MT available to be spending 600 MT on a contract every 5 games for a lot of these players. So it forces them to sometimes have to sell players to get contracts and things like that, and it makes it harder for them, especially when you're new to the game and you're no money spent, you don't have a lot of MT. It's just hard to get contracts for all your players, and that can really be inconvenient, and it's frustrating. And that's something that Madden had in the game at one point a few years back, was they also had a contract system in Madden. But the thing about that is, they took it away a couple years ago. I don't really see the need for contracts in game. I don't feel like they're a necessity at all. Just let players use the cards that they want to use with no restrictions. Like, don't make people have contracts on players to use them in any sort of online or offline mode. I just think that's ridiculous that you have to pay 2K for the ability to use your cards sometimes to get contracts on those players. I just think that's ridiculous. It's something that definitely should be removed, because I just don't really see the point of it. Another thing that I really would like to see 2K add in 2K22 would be more accurate pack odds, because like, as you can see, if I click here, y'all can see that they have pack odds, but they only go up to 92 overall. And because obviously the cards that are in this pack are a bunch of, I mean, Dark Matters and Opals and Pink Diamonds and all that stuff. And same thing with these pack. I mean, this pack, what are the odds on this one? Let's see. It's got a 27% chance of a 92 plus rated, but it doesn't tell you in this pack specifically Like, what are your odds of getting a Dark Matter card? What are your odds of getting a Galaxy Opal? What are your odds of getting a Pink Diamond? I would really like to see more communication from 2K next year in terms of what are the actual odds of getting one of the better players in these packs. Like, be more specific. Break down the odds for each card tier of getting a card from those tiers. I think that would be better communication from 2K, and it would definitely be nice for people to see in terms of opening packs, where versus giving us just this 92 plus overall player. Because once we start getting Pink Diamonds and Opals, which is pretty early in the year, those pack odds really aren't that useful anymore, because it doesn't actually tell you the legitimate odds of getting some of the best cards and the cards that people really want to pull out of packs. And I think honest pack odds would possibly even entice people to open more packs potentially if they felt more communication from 2K. And I just think that that's something that 2K should definitely add to the game that they haven't already, and I don't really understand why. Another thing that I do think 2K should add, and I don't think this would be very, very complicated, is a triple threat online play with friends mode. You have this play with friends mode that allows you to play with your God Squad or whatever team you want to use against other players in game, and I use that mode all the time for scrims and stuff. But it would be very nice to have a play with friends triple threat online mode for people who don't like to sweat 5-on-5, and it'd be easy for, like, if a streamer wanted to run a short tournament, they could run a triple threat online tournament, and it would just it's more content, it's more things to do. I think more modes in the game will always be a beneficial thing for 2K to add, and I think a play with friends triple threat online mode would be very, very simple for them to add, and a huge W, because I know a lot of people do play triple threat online, and they would love to see that and be able to play triple threat online against their friends, just in a short, fun, quick game mode. At number 6, another thing that they should do is continue rewarding no money spent grinders. Now, what I will say about that specifically is you are rewarded, I do believe, more this year as a no money spent player than you ever have been in the past. All of these cards, with the exception of Chris Webber and Bull, are cards that you can get, and Zach LaVine, are cards that you could get entirely for free, being completely no money spent with no need to buy any cards. Like, you could get this Luka Doncic for free. Cam Reddish and Terry Dishing are also free cards. Bill Russell, free card. He was one of the best cards, maybe the best card in the game when he came out. Taco Fall is a top 1 or 2 card in the game right now, and it's completely free. And I think that's a huge W by 2K that they gave us some of the best cards in the game for free this year. And I want to see that continue into next year, and I want to see that continue starting early next year. I would much rather see more cards that are really desirable cards be cards you have to grind for. And I know some people are going to complain because they don't want to grind for the cards, but I think that's okay. We've seen MLB The Show really give people the ability to pretty much get any card in the game if you're willing to grind for it as a no money spent player, and that's something that 2K does not always really let you do. And I'm not going to say that they can't have expensive cards like Yao Ming or point guard Ben Simmons earlier in the year, cards like that, but also there should be cards that are attainable, that are top cards in the game, completely no money spent just by grinding the game. And I think that's going to be a huge thing for 2K to add next year if they decide to do that, whether that means domination rewards, unlimited rewards, spotlight sim rewards like we've gotten this year, things like that. Just improve the free cards that players are rewarded for grinding for, because that will give people more incentive to play the game and play those different game modes. Because I'm just going to say this, nobody is incentivized to play unlimited for these cards that we've gotten in these unlimited rewards this year. Let me see if I can find them. TJ Warren was solid, but he was that one weekend thing. Drazen Petrovic and Larry Johnson were never top cards at their position. Paul Millsap was solid, but he was another one of those 12-win rewards, and I'd love to see more of those cards. But Michael Redd, also never a top card at his position. Cedric Maxwell may have been a top 2 or 3 card at his position when he came out. Kevin McHale, for like a day or two, maybe it was like a week, was maybe the best center in the game, but he's the best unlimited reward we've gotten all year. Patrick Ewing was not good at all. Andre Iguodala was not good at all. None of these cards were very good, and Paul Pierce was not very good either. So I just don't think that the unlimited rewards specifically were very rewarding this year. Same thing with limited rewards and things like that. You just didn't get a lot of really good cards that were top tier cards in the game for grinding those online modes, and I just think that's something that I would love to see 2K change for next year. At number 5, another thing that I would love to see would be more community feedback. I would love to see a option in the community hub, where there's actually like a content, this ask a developer thing, except more communication here. Like, you can give tips to 2K, things that you'd like to see changed in the game, and see more communication with that. I'd also love to see more communication from the official MyTEAM Twitter page, talking about things that are going on in the game, potential issues, if people are having issues with servers, or there are server issues, or in-game glitches or anything like that. I would love to see more communication from 2K on those parts. I think that would be something that would be really, really nice for 2K to add to the game that just isn't currently in game, and really kind of bothers me that people are not able to communicate more directly with the developers and the people who are in charge of making decisions in 2K. And I think that hurts 2K to a certain extent, not having that communication, because it frustrates the consumer. When they don't feel like they're listened to and that their opinion is appreciated, it definitely turns off the consumer from wanting to play the game. And that's something that 2K has had a huge issue with. And I know I personally feel is that 2K doesn't really care what I have to think or what their consumers have to think. They only care what their huge creators have to think, or what like the massive outcry is for certain things that they do. When they do certain stupid things, they will eventually or often go back on that and change it just because of the massive outcry for it. But they don't really care that much about communicating with their consumers. It doesn't feel like, and it makes people feel like they're only in it for the money, and that's just not a good, I don't feel like, business model to retain your customers and make them want to put money into the game and support the company when they don't feel appreciated. At number 4, another thing that I think would be a huge W for 2K to add, I think this would be a massive thing, would be if they added a draft mode. We have draft champions in Madden. There's Battle Royale, I think it's called, in MLB The Show. We have these draft modes that you see people playing all the time, especially in MLB The Show. People are playing this BR mode constantly, and it's just a very popular mode. It's another big thing for people to do, and that's another thing about 2K this year is at points this game just kind of got stale because there wasn't a lot to do. I, as a streamer, spent a lot of time this year just playing scrims against other comp players because I didn't feel a need to play unlimited. There's no motivation for me to play the unlimited mode or Triple Threat Online or MyTEAM Unlimited, except for until I get my ring, which is only a few games. So there's just not a lot of motivation to play these modes. And especially same thing with Triple Threat Offline. There's no point to playing Triple Threat Offline when I'm grinding for Rudy Gobert and these bum like reward cards that never were good even at their peak. Like none of these cards, even when they came out, were very good. The only reason that I ever played this Triple Threat Offline mode was when a good card was in the vault, like a Kermit Washington or a Terry Dishinger or a Danny Ferry. But besides that, I had no incentive to play this mode. And that's just something that I would love to see 2K change for next year, because I think if they do change that, it will definitely incentivize people to play the game more. Again, that's really the goal here, is adding new modes. Adding a draft mode specifically would incentivize people to play the game more and bring in more viewers and more consumers to the game, which would be really, really good for the game's health in general. Another new mode at number 3 that I would like to see them implement is a ranked and unranked limited mode. Unlimited mode, I apologize. I would like to see 2K implement an unlimited system that gives you 2 different options, like a casual unranked unlimited experience that you can just play with your team against hopefully other casual players, and allow you to just play the team and play the game and try out your cards without having to sweat too much and care that much if you win. And then you can have a ranked mode that has leaderboards, and I think having leaderboards is another huge thing because it incentivizes people to play the game more, improve their team, get better at the game, all that to try to get higher on leaderboards. I know for me personally, I would want to be super high on leaderboards every single season, which would incentivize me to play the game more and in turn bring in more interest to the game. Leaderboards are a huge thing that 2K has never really implemented that I would love to see them add next year to hopefully bring more interest into the game and really motivate people to play the game more, improve their teams, and all that. At number 2, and I think this is a massive thing, at number 2 would be a new 250k qualifying format. The 250k qualifiers this year, for lack of a better word, were a complete disaster. We saw people qualifying who I know for a fact cheated their way in and got into the tournament, which was very unfortunate. And a lot of people felt like they had to cheat and boost and boot people offline and all these things and use a Zen and all these things to try to qualify. And it worked for some people. They were able to get in the tournament, but the fact that that was necessary to get into the tournament, and then once the 250k tournament started, we had people playing on other people's accounts on both Xbox and PlayStation, people cheating and pretending to be someone else to try to win money in the 250k tournament. It was just a mess, and it just was unacceptable, I thought, this year. How bad that was. And I know COVID contributed in terms of not being able to have people play in person and all that, but next year they need to fly out every single qualifier to a common location where they can all play each other in person. They also need to make sure they add I think they need to change the qualification format, and I don't really know exactly how they would change it, but I'm sure they can come up with something that's more fair and rewards the top players more and limits the cheating that goes on and prevents a lot of the top players from being able to qualify, because I know several of the top players on Xbox were unable to qualify this year, and same thing with PlayStation because of the way that the qualifiers were set up this year, which were very luck based, rewarded people who cheated and gave themselves an advantage, and it just was kind of a mess. And I think that's something that 2K really needs to work on next year, is trying to improve the 250K format to make it so that more of the top players qualify for the mode, or qualify for the tournament, and then also making sure that in the tournament there isn't other cheating going on and people are actually playing as themselves. And I think flying those people out for the actual tournament will help to fix that. Also, again, bring in huge interest for people, because people love the 250K tournament, and if you fly everybody out in person, I think that'll bring a lot more interest, is having that as an event that people can watch and support. And then the final thing that I would love to see 2K add, and this is really something for me personally that I would just love, would be a weekend league mode. In Madden, weekend league is one of the biggest things that you can play every weekend. Same thing with FIFA. People love weekend league. It brings in tons of viewers on Twitch. Weekend league rewards are really, really good. So it rewards even a no money spent player, because if they get have a solid weekend, it gives them it could give them a lot of muck coins and things like that. And in 2K, I think that they could really do the same thing. Reward people for playing the game. You can have leaderboards, you can have top 10 rewards, top 25 rewards, top 100 rewards, all of that. Basically, in my opinion, honestly, just copy and paste what Madden has done there, because I think they've done a great thing with Weekend League. You get great rewards for finishing well in Weekend League. You get monthly rewards that are also super, super good and give you chances at some of the best cards in the game. And they really help no money spent players have success, I think, is having that Weekend League mode. It just motivates people to play the game competitively. It motivates people to play the game even uncompetitively, just to play more for the chance of getting high quality rewards for free. And I just think Weekend League is something that brings a ton of interest into Madden every single year, and I think it could do the same thing in 2K and really help to grow the player base, because it would motivate people to play the game knowing that they are going to be rewarded even as a no money spent player. And I think that would be another huge thing for 2K to implement in this game. But yeah, that is my list. I hope y'all did enjoy this video. I hope it was I hope y'all agree with my suggestions. I really think that if 2K would add even most of these 10 things, it could really result in a much better game next year, and that would be really, really important for the growth of 2K and the growth of this community in general. And I'm really looking forward to 2K22 and hoping that they take some of their consumers' opinions into, or input into consideration, and really use it to hopefully build a really, really good game. I'm very excited about 2K22, hoping that I can grow a lot as a creator myself, and also that the game will grow in general. And I'm just excited to see what the future holds. But that is my video. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.